like, Alexa. I don't want to say. Oh, no way. No way she heard that.
Interesting.
Take a gun to my kneecap, hold the trigger.
What are you talking about?
This is how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the whole point of what we're doing. Last night I made a list of like 15 or 20 topics. I just said I was going to say how many. Last night I made a list of a bunch of topics. When we're
may or may not be 15.
That like when you're out at the crag, you're going to argue with your friends about it. So like, I'm not even going to give examples because that will ruin all the fun. We've bouldered outside enough times where I think I think we have like the right to have opinions on stuff. Or even if we don't have the right, we definitely do have opinions about like whether you can do it, whether you can't, whether you should, whether you shouldn't, whether it's cheating, whether it's not.
For background on our credentials.
We don't need much more than this on our credentials.
There's that. I climbed V14. My last ascent was...
Name of V14.
Chocolate Thunder in Australia.
We've both climbed outside hundreds of times. We average more than once a week.
We understand the ethics.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like how hard you climb doesn't matter. What matters is that you've climbed outside enough times with enough different people in enough different places. And there's a lot of things that I think a newer climber especially just has no idea. Especially if you're coming from the gym, but also if you've just never climbed before. Like, there's so many things that you just would never think of. Like, a good example, I'm not even gonna put this on the list because it's too obvious, is like walking under someone while they're climbing. And if you're a new climber outside, you don't even know, but like obviously it's not okay. So the point of this video is to kind of like give our own opinions on all these topics. We are just, you know,
professionals.
We're just Gumbies with our own random opinions. Take everything we say with a grain of salt.
For those of you who don't know, pro means that we like it and we are on board with it. Anti means we are not on board with it. We are against it. Those are what those two words mean.
Thumbs up is
just
good.
Green, good, red, bad.
That's all you gotta know. The way this is actually gonna work is like, Mike doesn't know the topics. He didn't read the Google Docs, so these are all fresh. So what we're gonna do is I'll read a topic, then you'll have like, let's say 5 seconds to think about it, and then you turn around your sign, either pro or anti, and then we can talk about it a little, and then we'll rinse and repeat. And then like you'll do some nice like when I say like walking under someone while they're climbing, you'll just like put it right there, or like here, or here I guess, here. In post. I want to start with
Is climbing fun?
It's ethics, dude. We'll start with what I think is an easy one. When you're outside, can you brush holds? Can you brush the extra chalk off of a hold? And I know that there's specific places like HP40 where like there's very specific rules about when you can brush because the sandstone's brittle.
Generally speaking.
I'm talking northeast at the gunks where you cannot damage the rock by brushing it. Is brushing okay or not?
Are we doing a 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
I think we're gonna do a 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Oh wow, okay. No curveballs here.
I'm not, I can't just say
Okay,
anti,
good.
dude.
I'm anti-tick. Anti-tick, anti-brush.
I know you're anti-brush.
Alright, so brushing is fine. Everybody does it. You have to do it to get better friction. I don't think there's a lot to say here. I just wanted to throw us a meatball. Any interesting things to say on why brushing's fine?
It is fine, but but I mean it's definitely aid, bro. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about brushing. It's just
Brushing's fine. Pre-chalking a hold. You brush to take the extra chalk off. What if there's like a decent crimp that you want to like dab your chalk bag on first in order to put some chalk on preemptively so that it's a little drier when you get to it, I think.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you've got to be pro.
Yeah.
Because especially when it's
wet.
rainy or
Yeah,
it's wet,
when
like
it's
you
wet.
have
Like,
to.
there's
do
so
that.
many times that we've had where like the holds are just wet. You
Or
can't do
hot.
anything about it. Or hot. Next one is about tick marks. So ticking holds. This could be ticking a hand. It could be ticking a foot chip. Ticking holds in general. Ready? 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. Okay.
They have to be pro tick.
Anti-tick, anti-brush.
Gotta be pro tick.
But the problem is the way you tick. Oh, this specific finger. Oh, here's the tick range, like from here to here.
Uh-huh.
I find that annoying. I feel like that's like cheating.
Brushing and cleaning, those are like, I'm pro, no exceptions at all. They're just fine. Ticking is the first one where like, I'm not like 1,000% pro. There's definitely times where it's cool and
I
times
just feel
where
like it's
less cool.
overused sometimes.
It's definitely overused. Like sometimes
it's not necessary.
You take every hold on a boulder, it definitely takes away from it. But I've done it before. Like there's been problems where I just like keep messing it up and I just need to tick like 5 consecutive holds to be like, you gotta put your middle finger there on each one, otherwise I'm just gonna keep messing it up and it's just faster. But in general, I try to be conservative.
It just makes
I
the boulder
don't-
look messy.
It makes the boulder look bad.
And
I really don't like those like giant. Sometimes you see at the
It
power
looks
lines,
dumb on video too.
you see them all the time. Those like foot long ticks from a jug that just go down like the whole wall. The better way to do that is like draw a tiny tick, like 2 feet below the hold that you want, just so that's in the direction. It's so small that you can't even see it, but when you're climbing, you know, and then it kind of like points in the direction of the hold. You don't need a 2 foot long tick. You just need one to know how far away it is.
I feel like people never brush ticks either.
That's the other thing. Like brushing ticks before you leave, obviously have to do.
I'm gonna just have my stuff flip-flopping, so you never know which one I'm gonna switch
That's
to.
a good idea. Can you stack pads in order to make a sit start easier? Or any start, actually. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. For me, pad stacking is more, I get it. Because like if you are really short and you really cannot reach the start holds while sitting, pad stacking is the obvious thing to do. Like if you're sitting on the ground and your hands are above you as high as they go and you just can't touch the hold, I get why you would put a second pad down. And in that very specific case, fine, do what you
Because
do.
then it's technically like, it's the same difficulty, because you're still stretched out the
Right,
same
exactly,
way someone
right,
else would be.
exactly. That's like the only case where I get it why you would stack pads. Whereas if the guidebook says sit and you're like crouching or standing or like sitting on your foot, to me that's like always bad no matter what. And like I'd rather you stack a second pad.
I'm also thinking about specifically like climbs that you have to jump, like jumper.
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
I don't know.
jumper's a bad example because we on video stacked pads.
I think we had a pad and then we had a blubber and a slider.
I think
But then you took away some and I think you still did
No,
it.
I didn't.
Right? No, you didn't?
No,
Okay,
I never
mind.
caught it again. Yeah. I don't think we had 2 pads, although it's a chance we did.
We did not have 2 pads, no way.
Eh.
Or Andrew's jump.
Well, Andrew jump. Yeah, well, Andrew.
That's not even like.
Andrew jump's a weird one. Andrew jump, classic V2 at the gunks. Jumping off 1 pad is fine. Jumping off of no pads isn't that hard. So I think you should jump off 0 pads. I think you should jump off with a pad on your back. I think when the pads make the thing easier, then you should not do it unless you have a really compelling reason. Definitely stack pads if you need to make the landing safe, but don't do it to cheese your way up the start.
Next question.
All right, next question is, this is a topic that we don't actually have any first-hand knowledge on at all, but it's an interesting one. I've heard it come up a lot. You know how like with all the top boulders these days, like V15 and up, a lot of people who are projecting them will like do a 3D scan and then create a replica in their gym? Mm-hmm. Is that okay? Training on an exact replica of the boulder and then going back outside later to do it.
Am I okay with it?
If you had the ability, because like obviously we don't have a 3D scanner, a gym of our own, specific holds to print, all that. If you did, would you do it or no? I think is the more interesting question. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Interesting.
So I wouldn't do it because, dude, the whole point of going outside is to like learn the rock and like have fun on it.
Totally.
If it's like, oh, there's a V9 project, I'm not even gonna touch it. I'm just gonna like
Scan it
and then do it at home.
Totally.
It's like it's kind of lame.
Forget about a
If
V9.
you're
What about
work-
if it's a V11 or a V12 and it's like for you like a life list boulder project? Or like if you're a professional and it's a V17.
I mean, I guess it depends on the location. Like if it's in like Norway or some shit, and I'm doing like a 1 week trip.
I'm impressed that you know that that's where the boulder. Good job.
I mean,
I'm pro because it just makes sense that that's the future of like what the strongest people are gonna do. And I think looking back at it, it's gonna be like, yeah, obviously you like bring the boulder inside to train on it, so you bet you can modify conditions, do perfectly. Maybe take some weight off, maybe make the board a little less steep, and then make it steeper as you learn it better.
I guess a pro could be like an actual like pro and con pro could be that less people are going to be like abusing a rock.
True. It does
More
actually.
people
That's a
can
good
scan
point.
it.
I didn't
If it's like a
thought of that.
universal thing.
That's very true. If you scan a boulder and then like make the plans public and anybody can recreate it themselves if they want, then like it is less damage to that boulder. And for something that's like super classic, maybe that makes sense.
I think for me though, like I don't even moonboard, I don't even train, so like why would I ever go and scan some shit?
No, I
to
agree. I
climb
mean,
it?
I feel the same way. Like I'm going outside.
I gotta
to,
be
have
on the
fun
rock.
and do stuff. I don't know. If you told me that we could like make a version of some 11 that we want to do real bad inside and then work on it for the winter. and
That'd
then-
be pretty
that would be
sick, like harmonic or something.
Well, we
That'd
don't,
be
need we don't need a fucking replica of that. We just need to sack up and go do it. I mean, like, I mean, like something for nothing. I've definitely had times where it's like, I know I need to do a big reachy move out to a small or off of a small crimp, so I'm gonna like train that on the moonboard or something like that. Like that's common. Second part of the question: if you never touch something from nothing, 3D scan it. Maybe you touch the holds because I'm pretty sure you can touch the holds and still flash.
let's just cut to it. It's anti, dude.
Is it still a flash?
No, it's not a flash. You literally did the goddamn climb.
I want to say
It's not a
one of
flash.
these. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, a rare Nooch.
I'm gonna go Nooch on this one because it hasn't happened yet. Like nobody's done it on like a hard boulder. Nobody's flashed a V16 or V17.
How accurate
that
do you
way.
think the 3D scans are? Because
They
like,
seem really accurate,
there's
especially
so
on
much
a-
like texture and
I know, but
grit.
they get that. It's like a micro.
Yeah, but what is the mold? I'm just saying, if it's exactly 1-to-1, then it's not
It is.
flash. But
If it's less,
if it's just like Jim Crimps, then
that's murky waters then. Like, how similar can it be before
Right.
you no longer have flash it? Because I think that's the one question on this list that we don't have the right to have a good opinion on.
I feel like we have the right.
How do you feel about chipping holds?
Bro, obviously, you shouldn't be chipping holds. It's not cool.
This is the one that's not an opinion. Everything else we're gonna say is an opinion. This is the one that's not an opinion.
Ruins the fun for everybody, ruins climbs. Sometimes
Chipping-
it makes them better.
If you don't climb outside, chipping a hold is to intentionally break a hold or change it in any way, I guess, in order to make the boulder basically easier for yourself. So we don't experience this much in the Northeast. This doesn't really happen in the Northeast because we just kind of like whatever. We're just like whatever. But in other areas, this is common. So how do you feel about gluing a hold back on if it broke by accident? So imagine classic boulder, big old jug something broke off. Is it cool to glue that back on, or do you have to leave it the way it is now? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Interesting. When holds at the gungs break, they just break, and that's that for the most part. Or like, especially where like Great Barrington and all those places, like nobody's there to glue them back on.
But also, who's coming with glue?
People in
Like-
big bouldering areas, this is like a big thing that happens.
I know, but like, what happens when you break it? You're like, oh shit, I gotta keep this rock in my backpack
Yeah.
and get glue.
People literally do that. This one I feel weird about because like
What if you do a shitty glue job?
that's exactly why I feel weird about it. It's because like once you glue it, you have changed the rock from how it originally was. And like, did you really make it the same as it was in the first place, or did you make it worse? But I feel pro because like, what if it's the key jug that turned a classic boulder into something that you just can't do anymore now that it's broken?
You gotta find something else to climb. There's gonna be maybe another climb opens up because the hole closed down.
That is, some people say that. Some people are like, listen, when holds break, they break, and the boulder's different now, and like do it the new way. I think I'm pro gluing. With that said, I've never glued something, and I can't imagine I would ever glue something myself.
I think that's why I'm mainly anti. Because like I'm not gluing shit, dude.
Yeah.
Is that like a?
Maybe.
Why does your cup have a light on it, dude?
keeps it hot.
You're like, Alexa. I don't want to. Oh no way! No way she heard that. Yo, what are you doing? Her name, and then like, warm up my mug.
I could do it if I wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Next question.
How do you feel about dabbing on a pad, tree, or rock? The ground, anything like that. Any inanimate object that you dab on.
Like, is it acceptable or not?
Can you still count it as a send?
I have to remember, like, this is how I feel.
Yeah, that's the whole point of what we're doing. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so it's like, for me, I just can't live with myself.
I
Even
agree.
if it's like a little brush on a pad.
Right.
Like,
The littlest of brushes.
most of the time, dabbing doesn't actually like help you get to
Right.
the
Well, that's
top.
the question people argue. So, like, if a dab helps, then obviously it doesn't count. Like, if you swing and like you would have gone flying, but
Stops your
instead
momentum.
you hit a tree and then you still finish it, like that obviously invalidates the send. And I think everybody agrees on that. Or like if you like bumped the ground and you probably would have fallen, but you bumped off the pad in a way, like, obviously that doesn't count. But like if you, yeah, like a normal dab where there's like a tree next to you and you swing and like your foot kicks it a tiny bit, or like you do a move and your foot swings out behind you and brushes a pad like that.
I think maybe if I'm doing something that like I know I can do and I don't feel like repeating it,
Yeah.
I'll just muscle through it.
Mm.
But if it's like something that I'm actively working on and it's hard for me, then
That's-
I'm not gonna take
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like,
how I
have
feel.
to-
If it's a boulder that I care about the send at all, then I have to do it clean.
So I guess I'm a little nooch.
You are Nooch? I'm sticking
I'm
with
a little
that.
nooch.
Because like the times where if I dab and take it, it means it was like a V2 or something where it's just like I don't like the tick doesn't even matter. I'm just doing it to warm up, or I'm doing it because I like to tick everything in an area. It's so far below my limit that it's just not worth any amount of time to go back if the dab was totally inconsequential. But even still, I try not to do that. Like, and if it's on the lower part of the boulder, I'll drop back off and do it again. There's been boulders where like I dabbed in my original ascent when I was like a newer boulder. Like official was my first 7, collateral was my first 8. My official wasn't my first 7, it was like my 3rd. Actually, collateral wasn't my first either, but it was like my 3rd. But like both of them on my initial ascent, on official, I had a tiny little dab. My foot hit the pad that was protecting the tree, and on collateral, there's this rock in the lighting that I like tapped with my heel. Neither of them changed the ascent at all, and at the time I had ticked them and I was just like, yeah, I take it, but like in retrospect, I could not live with that, and I had to
Yeah.
go back and resend it, and then I went back and resent it, and I was like, okay, now
For
I've
collateral
actually
specifically,
done
like
it.
you have to like go out of your way to not.
You really have to
you
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
you have to like put your foot in a fucking cave and then like pull it out
it's
carefully.
literally like if I dab on that part, I can't. Like I've been trying that
yeah,
climb
no,
so
if
much.
you could dab, you would have done it.
Yeah. Maybe. Next question.
What about dabbing when it's your spotter? Your spotter just like touches your back of your foot as you go.
I'm just whipping it
3,
out,
2,
bro.
1. I'm going neutral on this one.
It depends. I mean, it depends, bro.
This is it depends, by the way. That's what I'm holding up. You're holding up pro. But go on.
I do like this jump to a jug, and my feet swing out, and he touches it, but like, I'm holding a jug.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna let go.
And you're not gonna like bother resending it
But
because you just put in effort.
I did stop, and I was just dangling like this, and I was
Come
like, who just touched me?
Yeah.
And then I just continued it, because I was like, whatever.
That's why I'm neutral. Because like in that case, it's just like, all right, fine.
Yeah,
Imagine
so-
if it was like a V9 or a V10 and you did that and I touched you. Would you do it again, or would you be like, I'm just gonna accept it? Especially, let's say it's something you worked on for a couple sessions.
I guess it depends how bad the touch is. Like, if it's just a brush.
So gentle.
It depends how much it would bother me. I feel like it would bother me a lot, even if it's just the smallest touch.
I agree. If you touch me at all on a boulder that I care about, I'm not gonna take it. If it was, I think it's a scale. Like if I touch the pad or a tree, it doesn't count no matter what. I might not repeat it if it's a V2, but it's still like, it's an asterisk. If my spotter touches me, I think I'm looser with it. Like maybe like a V5, 6, I'd be like, all right, fine, whatever. Like I'm not gonna repeat it because it still doesn't matter that much. It's still probably an asterisk. But if it's near my limit, it's still firmly in the camp of like, I can't live with it. I have to go back and repeat it. The problem would be like if it's really freaking hard, you can't do it again.
Yeah, like you climb 1,000 feet.
Right.
Then the guy just comes up behind you and just
Touches you. How about a dab where like your shirt or your chalk bag that's on your hips drags on the pad? Is that okay?
I mean, yeah, it is okay.
That is okay. I think so too. I think as long as it's not your body, it's fine. I mean, your shirt, it's something sit start. Sometimes you just can't avoid it.
I mean, your shirt's always rubbing on the rock. Oh wait, the rock's not a dab.
What are you talking about? How do you feel about watching beta videos while you're at the crack? Pro, anti, or nooch?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Nooch.
Okay. I knew you were loading up for that because, like, I know you thought you were sneaky because you were holding it as one, but your face and everything and the way you were doing this made it obvious.
My
that
face said
Your
nooch.
face said nooch.
Okay, cause dude, look, you know me in maps, you know me in guidebooks, I'm not reading. I'm not reading. The thing is, I don't have these books. I'm going to look up a YouTube video to see what the start hold is, and then maybe I'll watch the next 10 seconds.
For me,
Cool.
the main reason I watch videos is because I'm always like scoping because there's so many freaking boulders that we want to do, and like there's so many areas we still have barely gone to. So like I like to watch a bunch of videos so I know like, oh, that looks cool and like that doesn't. Because the guidebook star ratings often are bullshit, and like people's ratings on Mountain Project and A are all over the place. But if you watch a video and you're like, that looks sick, then you know it's sick. Watching them in advance is different too, because like if I just like watch a video of whatever boulder and then a month later we're at the boulder, I don't really know anything about it. Whereas like if you're at the boulder watching a video, you're like, okay, that hold is that hold and this is the move. I'm still pro for what it's worth.
But yeah, I'd say for the most part, it's like, I want to see the start and I want to see where the finish
Yeah, at
is.
the minimum, I want to see that just so I know.
So I think I care more about the start and the finish, and it just so happens that
There's a bunch of moves
in between. Yeah.
The next question. How do you feel about recording videos of yourself while you climb? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I guess we have to be pro. I sometimes
find it annoying.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll be at a climb and there'll be like 3 different tripods set up, and then someone's gonna be like, "Yo, don't block my tripod," which is like,
Yeah.
it's kind of annoying. In my opinion, if you're gonna record, it's fully on you to find an angle that works, and then like don't
Lateral
blow other
turtle,
people.
you climbed up the tree.
Literally, I climbed 25 feet up the tree so that I didn't have to ask strangers not to get in my way, and it worked out great. And it was a cool shot too.
Yeah. I'm imagining around Buddha,
Yeah.
like there's always just like a phone
9.
on the ground.
There's
And
a phone. There's
Yeah.
8 phones. There's a whole circle of phones around Buddha every day.
Yeah, 360
I guarantee
shot.
you right now as we speak, there's a phone on Buddha. It's 24 degrees outside. I guarantee you someone's got a phone up at Buddha. 100%. How do you feel about spraying beta at your friends while they're climbing? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I think I agree. We definitely both do this sometimes.
Yeah. No, you know what the worst is? Is like if I mess up a move and you or someone else is like, "Oh, I think you should," and it's like, bro, like I know,
Yeah,
like I
I-
fell and I have the realization already.
Yeah.
I hate when people tell me like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you should try this." It's like I'm about to do that. But that's not really beta spraying. And it kind of
Well,
is.
it depends on. In that case, it feels super different if you're working something together.
Right.
Because when you're working something together, the whole time you're just
spraying.
like spraying each other, but like you're figuring it out for yourself too. But yeah, if you just like know how to do it, if you did that boulder and like your friend goes up and hasn't seen it before, and you're just like spraying them unsolicited, I feel like that's annoying. Like I get annoyed, but also I do it sometimes. So next question is spraying when it's not your friend. 3, 2, 1. Now it's more this. When you're like, if you yell to me that I'm like the foot's higher or whatever, like it's always fine. But if some random person says that, I find that very annoying. If you consent enthusiastically to a micro spray down, you're gonna get one. This one's an interesting one. How do you feel about someone adding a higher start to a boulder that already has a lower start?
I know how you feel about
And
it.
I'll give you an example. Huh. I'll give you your
I hate that stand. I freaking hate it.
But yeah, so the example is like there's a classic V7, for example, that starts over here, and then someone like starts 4 moves in, does just what they think is the crux move, and calls it a V6 or a V5 or a V4, and it's like honk stand, for example. Like, is that kosher? 3, 2, 1.
Nooch!
Okay.
A rare nooch.
Alright, let me start by saying I feel strongly anti in this case. If a boulder was established as a sit, it's a sit. If a boulder was established as a stand, you can add a sit later, but you can't add a higher stand, especially something easier. Do the boulder the way the FAS did it, I think. The exception I'll give is if you are the first ascensionist, like Jut, for example, when he's developing the DAX, if he develops a line that he thinks is an 8, and then he says like, well, this is an obvious place where you could start it, and then when he's writing the guidebook, he's like, it's a V4 from here and a V8 from there, I'm fine with that. I think that's good. I think that makes things more accessible. Generally. You can go overboard with it. Alright, let me hear your Nooch opinion.
It's like a nice barrier to entry. Like a nice, you just lower it a little bit, you know? I mean, you could just...
Can't we take this too far, though? And, like,
you could just do the stand and have it not be its own thing. Like, you could just do that part of the climb, but maybe it motivates someone to be like, okay, I'm gonna come back and do the full thing this time. Or like, maybe someone wouldn't even check out the climb because it's a 6, and then when they find out, oh, there's a 4 attachment to it?
It's annoying. And then you can just do that every move. You can start a new boulder. I don't know, I feel strongly about this one. Next, how do you feel about Kneepads? 3, 2, 1. Interesting. I thought you were going to be anti.
So here's my whole explanation, right? First time I've ever worn a knee pad was for Pat's pinch. I borrowed a knee pad.
Yeah.
The knee pad felt good. I put my knee on the freaking rock and I was like, damn, like I'm sticking to the rock. I was locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But then it started sliding down my pants and I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb.
Well, that was more of a you thing than it is.
Right. But thing is, the reason I'm pro knee pad is because my jeans are an actual knee pad and it's better than a knee pad. Like I can knee bar with jeans and I don't feel pain.
Sure.
If I'm wearing shorts, dude, I'm fucked.
Right.
That hurts so bad in shorts.
Makes
so
sense.
I wear jeans. I'm pro knee pad.
I wear pants for the same reason, because you can use your pants as a knee bar, as a shit and scum, as like all sorts of stuff.
I know, but jeans specifically. Like you could take a gun to my kneecap, hold the trigger.
My climbing pants they're all rough. Like they're designed,
They're not as rough as jeans.
they're not as
I'm telling
rough
you.
as jeans, but they're definitely designed for,
That's why I'm pro knee pad. It doesn't help. Knee pads don't help.
They definitely help. There's a lot of like V15, 16, 17s out there that like kind of have to be done with a knee pad.
Well, if you're using a knee
Or like
pad
Adam
for
Andre on
that,
Silence, who like has to get into that knee bar and then like hang his hands out.
then I'm
If he didn't-
anti. Then I'm anti.
You're anti Adam Andre sending Silence with a knee pad?
Yes, because
Why?
it's adding like 2 inches to your knee.
No, he did it because that way the rest doesn't hurt.
Those 2 inches are gonna make a difference.
It's not 2 inches. It's like
Alright,
half.
it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, but it's not nearly 2 inches. Like it's not that big.
If you're okay, well, if he's using a knee pad, he
Yeah.
can't be wearing jeans because then that's like 3 inches.
I mean,
dude.
if it makes you feel better, he wasn't wearing jeans, I guess.
Was he wearing shorts?
No. Wait,
Doesn't count. If he was wearing shorts, then okay. I feel like that dude wears shorts.
some people whip out their knee pad just like all the time, though.
I just feel like I'd be embarrassed to whip out a
That's
knee
exactly
pad
what I
for a
feel.
boulder.
For a V4, and you're just like, oh yeah, let me just whip out. It's like, just do the knee bar. Yeah, I'm neutral. I don't care about knee pads.
So you're pro. You're not nooch. You're pro.
But I'm neutral because I don't want to use them ever myself. For some reason,
Okay.
I personally don't ever want to use one. I might at some point, but I never have, and I never might.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same. I'm in the same boat, but I'm pro.
Okay. I guess I'm
nooch.
I guess I'm like this. I'm like pro with like a hint of.
Oh, a hint of nooch.
A little hint of nooch underneath. Wait, do you know what nutritional yeast is?
Oh, we're nooch.
You just try to like hold it up as though it's the sign. I'm Nooch. Nutritional yeast is called Nooch. Like everybody calls it Nooch, Nooch. So I feel like it's a really good way to be Nooch on something. The next one is
Wait. Before we go to the next one, do you have a question that is like supplements or something?
No.
I feel like that might be a good one.
that's not really a climbing thing. Like it's
Well, like
what?
pre-workout,
vitamins?
caffeine.
How do you feel about caffeine?
I'm nooch.
No, you're not.
I'm nooch.
You don't ever not use G Fuel. You're not Nooch.
Oh, but the thing is, the G Fuel doesn't affect me.
That's not true.
It just tastes good. It
It's
doesn't
not
affect. Oh, candy.
Are you pro or Nooch on candy? Dude, caffeine, it does help with the G Fuel.
I think the candy helps more. All those nuts.
Sorry. How do you feel about the whole category of devices? Fans, heaters, leaf blowers, anything of that sort, where you're trying to either make it colder, hotter, drier. wetter, anything that you anything that you want. How do you feel?
You bring a rain device.
3, 2,
Yo,
1.
chill.
3, 2, 1. Interesting. Okay, let's hear it.
Just grow up. Like, people bring a leaf blower, like, dude, just climb the rock. It's just weird.
Okay, take leaf blower. What about a heater or a fan?
No,
Really?
get gloves, dude. Like, that's literally what I do. I get gloves. I go like this. Like, that's so cheap, dude. Because part of it is like, especially when it's cold.
Gloves, hand warmers, and a hat and a scarf. Like
But
that
if
is just as much extra as a heater is.
Are you heating the rock?
No. Okay, maybe. Let's say maybe.
If you're heating the rock, then I'm still anti.
Okay, what if you're just heating like your hands between burns? Then you're new. Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
Because we use the lithium-ion battery hand warmers.
just as extra.
I feel like if you're bringing a fan, if you're like holding a slider to like cast a shadow, it's like, bro.
I've had to do that.
I
I had to
know.
do that on Bump Direct.
I know.
I had to put a slider up in order
It's
to do
like,
it. I don't know.
it's just not real. Like, it's
None
like
of
in
it's
your
real.
head.
We're literally none of what
We're
doing
so
is real.
fake.
We're going out into the woods and finding the hardest way to do a boulder. And then we're trying to find the easiest way to do it the hardest way. And then we get to the top and we're just like, oh yeah, did it.
Or you could just climb. You could just
walk
walk
up the
down.
back
There's a
every
built-in
time.
staircase on the
Every
back
time.
side of the rock.
Yeah. It's like so rarely have we done a boulder where you couldn't get up an easier way. So adding a fucking slider to keep the hold cool is fine. I've had boulders where the fan is like the whole reason it feels good. Is that cheap? Cheating?
Yes. I never had an issue with my hands like that, so
Yeah,
I
some
can't
people
relate.
have sweatier hands than others. But if it's like a really warm, humid day, having a consistent blow of cold air,
Yeah, I mean, if you need a fan to climb like me, then so be it.
so be it. How do you feel about only logging things on 8A and Mountain Project as whatever the consensus grade is? So just to be clear, pro means always log the consensus, anti means log what you think it is. 3, 2, 1.
You switching up the pros and antis though. Dude, if you're logging the consensus, you have no free will. You're a fence sitter. Like, what are you doing?
I agree.
Why are you even logging it?
Just log it.
Log
is
your
what you
opinion.
think. Log it is what it is. If you
Be a
don't,
free thinker.
is there anything more annoying than someone who takes it as V9 and then in their comment writes felt V7, maybe soft?
But it is annoying to like
When-
try to keep track of the actual grades that I did.
You know,
and
but
then-
like at the same time, it's kind of like I don't want to
I don't even
take
want to consider
credit
that as
for
yeah.
having done X number of VXs if I
Truly didn't
don't
think-
think that they were.
Yeah.
Like the boulders that I'm like, oh well, that was really felt like an 8. It's like, yeah, okay, I did an extra 8. All right, now that we've talked about all these things, do you have any topics on your mind?
Nah, only the G Fuel, but we kind of talked about that. All right, now
We-
we gotta.
we
have
didn't
an
use our props.
Now we gotta have an outro.
How about this? What do you agree with? Like, what did we get completely wrong? Let us know.
Yeah.
What other things did we miss? Like,
Yeah, are there any other topics? Maybe we do a part 2-er.
it's hard because we did all the big ones. We
Yeah,
could
I
do
think
pro
we
and
did-
anti
we
with
did
other
everything.
stuff, but those are all the big climbing etiquette. Well, bouldering etiquette ones. I'm sure there's more with ropes, but we don't climb with ropes.
We do library etiquette next time.
Yeah, next time we'll do
Yeah.
something totally unrelated.
How do you feel about talking in the library?
Let us know what we got completely wrong. Let us know what we got right. I mean, at the end of the day, all these opinions are based on.
Reality.
At the end of the day, all these opinions are based on like us climbing outside in the last few years with a pretty consistent group
B14.
of people. Also, we're in the Northeast, so I'm sure etiquette's different in other parts of the country and in other countries.
Those
but
French people are weird. If you like this video, check out our climbing content.
yeah,
I mean, you probably already have.
if
but-
you were seeing this and you didn't already see our
That'd
climbing
be
videos, that'd be
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
More climbing content coming soon, I
TM.
think, or maybe it came recently.
Knuckleheads HQ signing out.
No, not yet. I feel like our opinions are just the right ones, though. Like,
Yeah.
how many of those things that we said could someone really be like, no, that's wrong?
Well, if we had one that's like, oh,
Most
if you've
of them.
climbed 2 V9s, are you a V9 climber? Or if you climbed 1 V9,
That's the subject of a whole other video. What does it mean to be a V5 climber? What does it mean to be
Yeah.
a V10?
that's a
climber?
50-minute video. just
That's
that question.
we're gonna have to sit down and really put the hammer down to the general public
Yeah.
on that.
A little different styled video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider, what do I say? Smash that like button and leave a comment down below. I'm pro smashing the like button and leaving a comment down below. That's it, Knuckleheads out.